Recording. It will start in a few seconds. Okay, today it is the 27th of February 2022. I'm Rumen Kolev Varna. This is Anne Schneider in Deutschland.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, where are you?
I am in the city of Mainz, that is about 40 kilometers from Frankfurt. So more in the south, exactly located on the River Rhine. And that is a very ancient town. A Roman castrum was their military camp, and the whole town has still these Roman settlements. And then it has also a very big cathedral, one of the biggest in Germany, and a rich past
This part of Germany actually was occupied for some time by the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
And then Arminius, who was a German, but they took him as a child to Rome.
Yes.
Actually, you see, ancient Rome was doing the same that was doing the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
With the Janissaries.
Yeah.
So they were taking children from all these people who were under Roman rule, and they educated him at Rome. And then, because they knew the language, but they were Roman in education and in manners, they sent them back. They were sending them back as conquerors of their own people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, bloody history.
But with Arminius, the Romans got it all very, very wrong.
Yeah. Because he turned against them.
Arminius was one of these Janissaries of Rome, but something happened and he returned to his origins. And he actually led a rebellion, successful revolt against the Romans.
Yeah. Here in my town, the son of the emperor Tiberius was settled, Drusus. His name was Drusus, and he then took campaigns more to the north, going on boats over the River Rhine more to the north, and he died in Germany. I think he fell from a horse, and he is buried here.
Yeah. Okay. Look, Annie, now, I think that we can also use the video, right?
Yeah.
Put it somewhere on the website of Meridian or somewhere.
Yeah, if it's good enough and my questions are not too stupid, we can do that.
Look, you can get the video and cut it and then fit. Can you do this, or somebody?
I have never done it, but I might learn it.
Okay, look, you can find someone to do this, or the Meridian can do this. If the Meridian wants to publish article, then they will be very interested also at the video.
Yeah, of course. And you might use this as well if you like.
Yes.
Yeah, the Meridian is always interested to expand their range of astrological methods and topics, and though they were very interested that I do that interview with you and tell the readers more about Babylonian astrology.
So let's start.
Yeah, let's start. So I suppose, as most of us, you started as a Western tropical astrologer when you began, and came only later to Babylonian astrology.
Actually, when I started, my teacher was a student of one very knowledgeable guy who lived in Sofia in Bulgaria. He knew Latin and he knew ancient Greek, and he translated books like from Arab astrologers and from the medieval astrologers. Actually, he has made translations from works from medieval and Renaissance Europe and from Latin sources too, and some of the Greek authors. So when I started, actually, I was right in this. I would call medieval Arab astrology, which is something between the Hellenistic and the modern.
So you didn't do any detour via psychological modern astrology or getting from that astrology which flourished in the 80s or 90s or so, but you started right in the medieval Hellenistic tradition.
Yes, and this was when I was living in communism.
Yes, so astrology was forbidden, probably.
This was forbidden, yes, and I had friends, astrologers, who would have been arrested, some of them, for a short time and questioned, and then their libraries were confiscated.
Dreadful.
So we were under persecution.
So a similar thing happened in Germany in the National Socialist times. There was a flourishing astrological community, and the Nazis didn't want them to practice, but on the other hand, they were, of course, keen to use their knowledge, but on the whole, they lived very dangerously.
Yes, yes. And so in these times, the name of this guy is Fyodor Gruzinev. Actually, he was a Russian from the White Army, and when they lost the Civil War, he was very, very young officer from noble family, and I think he was like 20-something years old when he came to Bulgaria as a refugee, and he settled here, married a Bulgarian lady, and so on. So this guy was very educated. I missed them for 1 year, because when I was 17 years old and I went to Sofia to look for astrologers and for books, he has just passed away 1 year before
what
that.
A pity. Yeah.
And this guy knew exactly the time when he will be flying off. I know this from his own daughter. So he had some powers, spiritual powers too. Yeah, he was like not only astrologers, but he was also something like a magician.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that goes often hand in hand.
And you see, this happened in somewhere around, I think, 77, in 1977. And this guy started working on his astrology project somewhere in the 60s. So,
but his legacy survived, as he had some pupils, and his books somehow survived as well in the communist time.
Yes. I studied from one of his students, and I have read all his books on astrology, which are about maybe 40. Yeah.
What an output.
Yes. So actually, what I mean is that you see, ancient medieval Arab astrology was unknown to Western Europe until the project Hindsight.
Yes, I know. And you have lived in the United States and worked with Project Hindsight.
I have lived in the United States, but I have not worked in this project.
Yeah.
My project is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, but the project Hindsight, Robert Zoller, Robert Schmidt,
Robert Hand.
and Robert Hand, all these guys, they started this in the 90s. Okay, but this guy, Fyodor Gruzinev, he started it 30 years earlier.
Yeah.
In the 60s. So we were lucky here to have this much earlier.
But there were also these traditions from Otto Neugebauer, who fled to the United States and translated Hellenistic horoscopes. And also in Münster, in Germany, there is a Greek classical faculty who translated. Hübner is one of the names, and Stefan Heilen later, who translated classical Greek texts on astrology, but they don't practice it. They translate it and put it into the correct historical perspective, but they don't practice it as an astrologer.
You see, in the academia, they also, of course, work on astrology, on ancient astrology, in the departments of history of science. Sometimes philosophical departments do this, even theological. But in the academia, most of these people who are the leaders, they don't understand. They don't understand the way of thinking in ancient times. They don't understand the substance of the ancient culture. Because ancient culture was spiritual and modern culture is materialistic. This guy, Otto Neugebauer, Pingree, Hermann Hunger, who else? Almost all of them in Assyriology, who work on Babylonian astrology. They have translated, a lot of texts. So all these people, if they walk on the street and something falls, which crash on their side, falling from the sky, let's say a small meteorite, this will be meaning nothing for them, nothing.
It's not an omen for them, but just a piece of stone.
Yeah, and it is also just a coincidence.
Yeah.
So this does not have meaning for them, and actually, the whole life does not have meaning for them because nothing has meaning. They don't see the spiritual reality behind the events. So the materialistic way cosmic view is absolutely devoid of any sense and of any merit. It's just chaos.
Yeah, but now we are just in the Hellenistic period. How did you then get further back to the Babylonian period?
So, when they translate texts, sometimes they even don't understand what is the text about.
You speak now of these cuneiform tablets, which have been translated partly.
Oh, and one more thing, very, very important. The translations of astrological texts by the majority of the academia are very, very bad. They make huge errors, mistakes, because they don't understand.
They don't grasp the meaning of the celestial phenomena.
They don't understand the way of thinking of the ancient guy, of the ancient culture, actually. So that's why.
Yeah. So you
not because they are stupid, you know, they are very intelligent, but this lack of understanding and also this arrogance, because the modern man is one of the most arrogant men who lived on this planet. The ancients were much more humble.
Yeah, they had a relationship between man, priests, and God, and now every man wants to be God.
Yeah, because there is no God, anyone can be one. You know, Stalin, Hitler, the modern dictators. So, yeah. So anyway, when I started, actually, I started from this medieval European and Arab astrology, from this tradition. Of course, I read a lot from modern astrology too, and then it was somewhere in the 90s when I decided to learn Latin and Greek and look for the origins.
The original texts.
Yes, the original text in Latin and Greek. I always loved to study languages, to read different books in different cultures, and so I hired the best teacher that I could find in my city, and she also was a professor in a university. So she was amazing, and I studied for several years with her, and then with another professor in Sofia for more years. So I did this in order to be able to read the texts. You know, I remember I was maybe 21, and it was communism. And imagine what happens. I find one very famous in this time book on astrology, which was The Message of the Stars by Max Heindel, the Rosicrucian.
Yeah.
So I find this book, but guess what? The book was in French.
Funny.
Le Message Disaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have the book in my hands. Le Message Disaster. Okay, the message of the stars, but I cannot read it. So this, can you imagine my frustration and my indignancy at the fate? So what I did, I hired the best teacher in French.
So you went from one language to another.
So actually, I learned French in order to read this one book.
I had a similar experience, but I wasn't so adamant as you. I was in Uzbekistan and found a book by Ulugh, and that was in Russian and in Uzbekian language, but I don't know either of them. I bought it for any case to have it, but I can't understand it yet.
I think I know the book that you are talking about. I may even have it in my library. Yes, the Russian academia works on texts by Persian authors, Arab authors, Turkish authors even. But this is not widely known in the West. Because who can read Russian, right?
Yeah. Well, I can decipher the letters, but I don't know the meaning. That's the problem. Anyway, so you learned also the Akkadian language to understand the Babylonian tablets?
Yes, actually, it was somewhere, let's say, 97, maybe, when a friend of mine, actually, she studied with me primary directions. She started, I think, a PhD program in Zurich, in Assyriology. And she started sending me all the materials that she went through, and all kinds of books on Assyriology and on Babylonian astrology. So I didn't ask her to do this.
Yeah.
She was just sending heaps of books and papers and homeworks that she did and everything. So I looked at this, and at one point I found it very interesting, very fascinating. The Babylonian astrology, the Babylonian theology, and their picture of the world. Everything was magical, connected, interconnected. The calendar was connected with all the festivals, and it was a lunisolar calendar actually. It started in the spring, and so the calendar was connected with the moon and the sun and the seasons and the levels of the waters. And this was also connected with the lunar phases and with the divinities and with mythology. So everything there was very, very fascinating. So I started to read all these books and to study Akkadian and Sumerian. I could not find a teacher here, although in Vienna I went for 1 month. I visited the classes there, which I found very, very good. But in Sumerian and Akkadian, I can read astrological texts because you must know maybe, let's say, 500 words, not more than 1,000, in order to understand astrological texts.
So that's the terminology about the planetary phases and rising of the planets and setting and this sort of vocabulary.
But it is completely different thing to read Sumerian myths or poems in original. This, you must be a master of the language to do this.
Yeah.
And and one more thing about Akkadian and Sumerian is that even great masters of the language have quite different interpretations of one and the same sentence. No?
As usual in the academia.
Yes. So, for example, I can give you example with the omens. I saw a lot of omens which were translated from several different very famous scholars in Assyriology. Okay? And all of their translations were different. So, you see? And also, I found the same thing also with texts in Greek, with astrological texts in Greek. I found there that even the best professors in ancient Greek can make huge errors with astrological Greek texts.
Yeah, because they don't know what's really behind the words.
Not only this, they can make huge mistakes also with mythological texts, and this is because of one peculiarity of the ancient Greek language, which makes him one of the sacred languages. And this peculiarity is that you can say something in ancient Greek in such a way that it can be understood in several different meanings and several different ways, some of them completely opposite. And one type of people understand one level, and another type of people understand some other level. And actually, many Greek texts in astrology are written in such a manner as to mislead people who lack enough wisdom, enough insight, and enough understanding, and enough spirituality. So people who understand the real meaning of a Greek holy text, they must have the insight, the spirituality, the understanding, and most of all, love towards this culture. So
yeah, it's quite a lot. Not everybody has all these qualities.
So the same thing happens also in the Greek texts and in the Akkadian text. I will show you. Let me see. I will show you the cover of the academic book that was published now. I'll share now the screen, so you'll see it. Okay, let me see. Where was it? Okay.
Yeah, I acquired it just 2 or 3 weeks ago and have started to read it, but it's very dense and I must really get into your way of thinking.
Yeah, this is condensed information here.
Not condensed information only, but also condensed print. It's also very full each page.
Yes, yes. In this book, I have made translations of several astronomical, astrological texts, and I have also made astronomical mathematical analysis of what is called the Babylonian Astrolabe. It is one text which is simple. It's like 3 concentric circles divided by 12, and we will have 36 sections, right, in 3 concentric circles, and in each section will be written the name of a constellation. So we have 36 constellations in 3 concentric circles by 12 each. So this is the sky in ancient Sumer, and these are the 12 months, and in each of these 12 months 3 constellations arise heliacally before the sunrise. You can see them on the eastern horizon in the crown of the rising sun. Every month 3 constellations from the center, which is the east, and then from the northern part and from the southern part. So this is actually the original system of the first Hermes.
As far as I gathered, you proposed also complete new dating of the texts, so that they are much older than one was believing previously.
Yes. The most ancient layer of astronomical information in this text is from 5500 BC.
That's really revolutionary, that idea.
This is something which is like an atomic bomb in Assyriology.
Yeah.
Because you know, in the beginning of the 20th century, there was this big, huge dispute between the pan-Babylonians or the pan-Babylonists and Kugler and his students. Kugler was one brilliant Jesuit professor in mathematics and in Akkadian. So this guy was brilliant. Of course, there were many brilliant from the pan-Babylonists too, like Ernst Weidner. And there was a huge dispute then of the history of Babylonian astronomy and astrology, and the question how ancient they are. So this was the core battle between the pan-Babylonists and Kugler. So Kugler was successful to give the impression that Babylonian astronomy and astrology was developed somewhere in the 8th century BC and not earlier.
Mm.
And the pan-Babylonians, they were of the opinion that it was much before that, somewhere like 2,000-3,000 BC, which is the time of Sargon the Great. So So this is this was the major field of the battle. How ancient was Babylonian astronomy and astrology? And Kugler was victorious in the academic circles, but his victory was a hollow one. And his victory was always under question, always. It was not very strong, and there was left the doubt that something is not wrong here. You know, that something is there more to dig and to see. And when I started reading the Assyriology, I started reading Kugler and Otto Neugebauer, and then I read also the pan-Babylonians, Ernst Weidner most of all. And then I saw that actually it seemed to me that the pan-Babylonians were actually the right, that they were correct in their understanding of everything. And the more I read, the more I came to this conclusion. And but I saw that in the so to say official institutional academia, it was accepted almost for 100 years that Kugler has done the job, that he has proven once and for all everything. And this was until this book was printed.
Yeah. And now, is there still a lot of controversy about it, or is it accepted in the community?
Well, look, when a book comes out in the academic stream, it is accepted. It is almost an unwritten law that there will be a review in the first months, or latest maybe 2-3 years most. And guess what? This book was printed in 2013 on the 4th of July. Actually, because it was a holiday, it was distributed on the 5th. So this book came in 2013, and now we are, well, 9 years. 9 years, and there is no review.
Because the topic is too complicated and people need linguistic knowledge, mathematical knowledge, astrological knowledge, and nobody apart from you has all this knowledge.
So look, there is something even more interesting here, because Pingree was a professor in Brown University.
And I met him once in person shortly before his death.
I met the guy 2 times in person, several years before he flew away. Yes, he was interesting academic type guy, but very prejudiced, extremely prejudiced.
My problem with his writings is that he often quotes only his own earlier writings. So it's a circle in which he moves, but no other people are entering his argumentation, and therefore it's very difficult for me, at least, to judge if I can trust his findings or not.
Well, you see, the independent researchers, we take from the institutional scholars what they're good at. So they're good at some heavy translations that we can use, with caution, and always comparing them with the original texts, so we can find the real meaning. So some passages they do good job, some passages they mess up, but you can use, this is like a heap of sand with some golden nuggets there. So
yeah.
you just get
You have to dig deep to find these golden nuggets.
Sometimes, yeah. So the most interesting part is that when we talk about review of this book, okay, I tell you about Pingree being professor who was teaching also Babylonian astrology and astronomy in Brown University. So when Pingree flew away from this world, in his place came a new professor, and he actually, years ago, he wrote that he will write a review about this book. But he has not written a review until now. So, yeah, I'm thinking about the name of this guy. He is a professor in, I think, Assyriology and Egyptology. So
I recently listened to a talk with Irvin Finkel, the curator of the cuneiform tablets in the British Museum. And he said they hold a lot of tablets which haven't been translated yet. So would you expect that there might come up new knowledge to further your research, or that it is more or less on the same things you have already explored?
Well, with the texts, it's like many are not translated.
Yeah, he said so, and he tried to convince young students to learn that very obscure field.
Yes, it is the translations that we have now of these texts are also not very good.
So one had to rework everything.
Well, yes. You see, for example, let's take the bounds or the terms.
Yeah.
And this I'm just looking for something here. So bounds, the so-called Egyptian bounds, I always knew that they are coming from Babylon. But it was several years ago when it was discovered, actually, that this they found in one cuneiform tablet.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, I guess, from the 6th century BC, this cuneiform tablet, and this was a big discovery. And this discovery was made actually by this same guy who is the professor in Brown University. I'm just looking to find what was his name. Well,
don't worry, I can look it up later. But do you believe that the...
I found.
Oh, great. How is he called?
Oh boy, no, his name is important, because I'll put this video so people should not do extra work. I will show his name is John Steele, or Steele. Obviously, let me share the screen and show you what I have here. Okay, you see now?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can read it.
Okay, this is the guy, John. How do you pronounce this? Steele?
I would say Steele, but I'm not sure if you pronounce that last E. Steele. Not sure about that.
So this is the guy who promised to write a review of my book maybe 7-8 years ago,
and he hasn't done yet.
And he's still thinking.
Yeah.
You know, professor of Egyptology. Okay, that's him. Yeah, last time when I was looking at his photo, he had much more hair. So I hope he'll write this review, because and he will still have some hair left. Yeah, so.
Yeah, sometimes people like you are so much ahead of their times that nobody else is able to communicate with them on your level.
So you see, look, history of astronomy.
Yeah, I see.
Particular focus on Babylonian astronomy. Okay. So I think Professor Steele has also undergraduate degree in physics and astronomy, and he knows the languages. He knows
Akkadian.
He knows Sumerian. He knows ancient Egyptian, Greek, Latin, everything, and he is a good mathematician and astronomer. So this is the guy who was chosen, and I believe this is the best that they can come with. You know, the institutional academia has some heavy guns, you know, and this is the heaviest of all.
Yeah, probably.
So if he cannot come up with a review, then what is the conclusion?
Yeah. Well, hopefully he will finish this review at some time.
So yeah, Brown University, John Steele. So yeah, well, let me.
From the Babylonians and the event in direct transmission to the Egyptians, or that the two cultures discovered independently the same phenomena?
Okay, I don't know. You know what? I don't know much about ancient Egyptian astrology, and I don't think there is anyone on this planet who knows. maybe just some very small parts. Like, okay, the 36 decans, everybody knows about this. There are some translations. Otto Neugebauer worked on this 36 decans. But there is much more to this, much more. For example, I found out that Venus was portrayed in ancient Egyptian iconography with two faces, with two heads.
So meaning the rising and the setting Venus, or what could we make of this?
This is the morning star and the evening star. So these are the two faces of Venus. Also they had divinities for every hour of the day and for every hour of the night and for every month. So this is a very big field where nobody has done any serious work.
I came once across a dissertation here in Germany, I think it was Heidelberg University, about electing a date in the ancient Egyptian times with these hourly and daily gods and goddesses. But I don't recall the name. I could look it up or research it, but I think there is some research in Germany, but probably, as you remarked before, perhaps not with the knowledge an astrologer would have.
Well, it is not only astrological understanding, but there is no serious research at all. There are several articles, there's here and there, you can find something. There are even several books. There is one French lady who is very seriously working on this. I think she published the Dendera temple, but there is no any complete picture, any complete system. For Babylonia, we have the complete picture. We have everything, almost everything, like a complete picture. I mean, we know the basics, we know many things of the construction. Many spots are still white, but we have this full picture. But in ancient Egyptian astrology, it is the opposite. We just have one spot there and one there and nothing else.
Only a few fragments.
Only a few fragments, yes.
But one question, how far could the Babylonians calculate the planetary cycles in advance? I mean, did they only observe what was the current constellation, or were they able to calculate things much in advance?
Look, when I made my computer program, when I actually it was somewhere, let me say, I believe it was when I made this model for calculation of the heliacal phases of the planets and of the stars. I think this was somewhere in 2007. So when I made this model, it was computing the heliacal phases of the stars, the real appearance, the first appearance of the planets, You know, when it rises before the sun on the east, in the
Yes.
hollow of the rising sun, you can see the planets appearing one day, because they have this black period when they are invisible, when they are close to the sun. So the computation of the heliacal phases, can you imagine that this knowledge was lost for 2000 years?
It's really a shame.
So when we go back in time, the last that could do it were the Babylonians. You know, the whole modern academia, the whole modern science, with NASA and with thousands of observatories, they don't know how to compute the heliacal phases of the planets. Is this not funny?
Yeah, it's hardly believable with all our mathematical possibilities and computers and things like that.
And do you know why they cannot do it? And
because
why
they don't watch the sky.
That's exactly. I made the algorithm for the heliacal phases of the planets in 2007, and it was incorporated in my computer program Placidus, which I can actually show you here.
Yeah, that would be good to show it, that people can get an impression how complex it is.
Yes. Okay, this is here the program. You see, so let's choose. Do you see?
Yes, I see it.
Erdogan.
No, yeah, now I see it.
Here. You see this one here?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the chart of Erdogan, the Turkish president. And now we will look at his chart. So
I attended your lecture at the second conference about the sources of astrology, where you spoke about it, and I was waiting and waiting till you said something about his downfall and his demise, and you spoke about his spirituality.
Yes, this is here the chart of Erdogan. I will change here the atmospheric extinction to 0.24, which is like the average extinction. And here you can see that his Mercury and his Venus are in heliacal phases. Like it is written above Venus. You see,
it's very small. I can't read it, but I believe it. Yeah.
You can see it also here. It is written like Venus EF1.
Yes, I see that.
EF1, which means evening first, one day after the day of this chart. So Venus is in a heliacal phase and Mercury has just disappeared. So this program computes the heliacal phases of the planets. And you can see also here, you can see it in many different ways. For example, here, this is, okay, you see here, You can see morning star on the left, red, then evening star, blue on the right, invisible black here. So Venus is invisible, but if we move the time with 1 day forward, hop,
it becomes visible.
she pops up.
Yeah. No, it's really a powerful program you have calculated here. I don't know if any other programs can do that. At least none I have.
So in 2007, I made my own algorithm for computation of the heliacal phases. And how did I do this? Until this time, there were several algorithms published by scholars, maybe like 4 or 5 different algorithms. And I have checked them all, and they were wrong, all of them. And then I decided to investigate this and to make my own algorithm. And I watched the sky from 1997. From 1997, I watched the heliacal phases of the stars and of the planets. And I had notes, very detailed notes. And this was a period of maybe 12 years of observations.
Always from the same place, or did you also go to different locations?
Actually, in my book, The Babylonian Astrolabe, I publish my algorithm for the heliacal phases, and I publish also my observations and my formulas. Everything is there as a supplement. And I had two points of observations. One was Bulgaria, Varna, on the Black Sea, and the other one was Seattle in the United States, in Puget Sound, on the water again. And I was lucky because the atmospheric extinction at Seattle is about 0.16, and in Varna it is 0.24.
I see, yeah.
So because I had this good luck to have had observations of heliacal phases in 2 different points, one with dense atmosphere, the other one with much more transparent. Seattle is much more transparent. So I had these
2 places.
These 2 places, and I could do my algorithm based also on more than 200 observations, personal observations. And I'll tell you why the institutionalized academia, why they failed in this for 2,000 years. For 2,000 years, the official academia could not come up with a solution to this problem, how to compute the heliacal phases. Okay, and why did they fail? Because they did not have observations.
But and people like Copernicus or Kepler or Tycho Brahe, they were also for years and years observing the planets and the stars. Didn't they make notes about these things?
These people, they did not work on the heliacal phases. They worked in completely different areas. But you see, in this time of Copernicus, of Kepler, the academia was very small, and very few people worked in many different fields. But now in modern times, and then, okay, in the times of Kepler and Copernicus and everybody else, Giordano Bruno, you see, in these times, there was no knowledge of Babylonian. There was no knowledge of Assyriology. And there was no knowledge about the heliacal phases. It was lost.
Yeah, so they didn't pay attention very much to this phenomenon.
Well, yeah, they of course knew. They of course knew that the planets become visible in one moment as evening stars, as morning stars. Of course, they watch the sky, but they didn't go to make algorithm for computation of these heliacal phases. They worked on different problems. But you see, what is excusable for Copernicus and for Kepler is not excusable for the modern academia, because the modern academia, there are thousands of scholars paid by your taxes, by the government, by the private billionaires. So there are thousands of them who work on Babylonian astrology and astronomy. For more than 100 years, there are many scholars who work on Babylonian astronomy and astrology, who sit in departments like John Steele, who have so all these possibilities to learn, and they have not done it. So if they research Babylonian astronomy and astrology, half of it is heliacal phases. And if they research it, how do you explain that they are not interested in the question to be able to compute these heliacal phases?
And these programmers who calculated the wrong phases, these 3 programs you mentioned before, did they correct their programs after your findings?
Actually, you see, my program was the first one to compute heliacal phases at all. After my program came somewhere in with the heliacal phases in 2008, I believe. Then several other programs appeared. One from the academia. There are some others from Astrological software who claimed that they compute heliacal phases, but they are clearly wrong. Because the algorithms that they use are wrong, and when people tell me, okay, there are let's say 3 or 4 other computer programs from the academia, from the astrologers, where you can compute the heliacal phases. Like Delphi Oracle also claims to compute the heliacal phases. There is one program, this lady astrologer who writes about the fixed stars from Australia, she has another program that can compute the heliacal phases. The academia has their own 1 or 2 programs, and all of them are wrong. And I tell these people, okay, check the heliacal rise of Mercury or Mars for this year, let's say so, with all these programs, including my own program. Check what they will tell you. Write the dates and then go out and watch. That's very simple.
Yeah, that should come up with a proof. So,
yeah, so actually the algorithms of the Delphic Oracle and this program of the lady astrologer with the fixed stars from Australia.
Do you believe Bernadette Brady?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, she's now living, has been living for a couple of years in Great Britain.
Mm.
I think she took a PhD at Sophia Center or one of these universities who offer astrological culture degrees.
I think Bath University.
In Bath University, yeah. Now they have moved to Wales.
Mm.
It started in Bath University, but as far as I know, Nicholas Campion is the dean, and they are in Wales now.
So Anne, let's go back to the topic.
Yeah, so, it's very interesting to talk to you. Yeah, but let us know, how do you combine more modern techniques with these Babylonian methods, like primary directions or medieval techniques can be combined with the Babylonian methods?
So the algorithms of the computer programs of Delphic Oracle and Brady, which uses this program, are obviously wrong when you look only at the algorithm, because Robert Schmidt actually he was aware of the heliacal phases because the Hellenistic astrologers wrote about them, right? And he incorporated them in this Delphic Oracle, which was inspired by him. And he incorporated them in this Delphic Oracle program. But there is one big problem, that the computation, the computation of this heliacal phases there was very, very simple. It was when a planet is 15 degrees from the sun. If it goes more, it becomes visible. If it goes less, it disappears. So this was the belief of the Hellenistic astrologer. Actually, this was not their belief, this was their algorithm. And this was on the ecliptic.
Yeah.
Only measured 15-degree distance between the planet and the sun on the ecliptic. And this was obviously wrong, because the planets have different brightness. Also, the horizon is different in the different latitudes. And because of this is very, very wrong and incorrect. And I was corresponding with Schmidt in one I think American site about astrologers, and he told me, okay, but this is what the Hellenistic astrologers wrote. Well, I know that this is what the Hellenistic astrologers wrote, but this is not heliacal phases. Because you see, this algorithm will give you, for example, a given date when will appear Jupiter. So you go there, you watch, no one. You watch the next day, no one. So what is happening here? And this is the difference between this astrology of the Golden Age and the modern astrology. Because this is the difference between watching the sky and seeing the real phenomena, the signs on the sky, the images on the sky. This is the real horoscope. The real horoscope is the sky when someone was born. The whole sky, the whole celestial sphere, everything there. Everything. Planets, stars, constellations, images.
That's really a great shame this has gone lost nowadays, to watch the sky and see what's really visible.
So you see, the heliacal phases are a very good example about the history of astrology and how she degrades with time. Because you see, the Hellenistic astrologers, they knew about the heliacal phases, but they have lost the algorithm how to compute them. Okay, and they employed some kind of very simplified way to compute them, which obviously was, you see, Ptolemy gave algorithm for computing the heliacal phases, and this was much more complex than the algorithm of the Hellenistic astrologers. So the algorithm of Ptolemy was that for each planet, he gave this value of Arcus Visionis, which is like he will put the planet on the horizon, and he will see how many degrees the sun is below horizon. So this is the value of Arcus Visionis, and he will give for each planet the value, which is much better than the algorithm of the Hellenistic astrologers. But guess what? Ptolemy was also wrong, because he didn't take in account that one and the same planet can have different brightness when she appears and when she disappears. Also, he didn't take in account the latitude, because it is, and also the azimuth. So how far the planet is from the sun, I mean from the place of the halo. How far is she? Because if she is further away, she can appear even if she is not bright enough. If she is very close to the halo of the sun, then she must be much brighter. He didn't take this in account too. So his algorithm was also wrong. So why this happened? Because Ptolemy used only very limited observations, which were not even his. And he wrote this in his Almagest. He wrote that these observations were sent to him by a friend of him from Syria, which one he called the Syrian, the Syrian guy. Okay, who is this Syrian guy? Nobody knows. But what we all know is that Ptolemy did not make personal observations, and we know also that his algorithm is wrong.
But how many astrologers take into consideration all these facets of a planet? Well, I hardly know anybody.
Not many, but all my students take this in account, and they have their own students now. So many more astrologers are now taking the heliacal phases in account. And you see, the time when Venus will pop up on the sky as a morning star for the first time is so powerful. You see her like an orange, very pulsating, flashing star very close to the horizon on the orange background of the solar halo. Every Mercury appears on the light blue background, sometimes on the light yellow. Further up, Venus is the brightest. Jupiter appears in the yellow part, in the dense yellow part. Saturn again appears in the light blue. So it's these are visions. These are signs that you see on the sky, and these are signs which are painted by God Himself with His pen of light. And this is what the astrology of the Golden Age is about. This astrology talks with the language of the archetypal consciousness, with visions, with symbols, with pictures, with images.
So do you give seminars where people can study this with you on the sky? So they come to you and you observe the sky and make notes and then interpret this later in an astrological way?
Yes, I will.
That would be good to announce this, because some of our readers might perhaps join. It's in English, I suppose.
Yes, let me see. Where was it? I want to show you something here. No, this is a different thing. Okay. Now let's see here. Okay. I'll show you my site. It is babylonianastrology.com. And here you can see some information about my computer programs, about the correspondent course, about different things, about my books here, okay, about the software here.
Yeah. So I will link all this and get some information from your site that people can research for themselves.
Yes, you can send email to me from here, contact.
And that seminar from last year will be offered in this year as well again?
Yes, I hope so. And this is my email here. You see?
Yeah. Yeah, I have your email address. Yeah.
Yeah, so whoever is interested can post me email.
Yeah, I hope so.
So there are different things that there is this video cycle for Babylonian Astrology 1, 2, 3. I have also made a lot of webinars, excellent, very nice webinars with Laden.
Yes, I have seen a lot which are free, and I have also ordered the one which is for pay, but I hadn't time yet to go through it thoroughly.
Okay, so these webinars that I made with Laden and with other people, you can also order directly from me. With also there is private tuition, many. It is actually tailored for the individual students.
Yeah.
If someone is interested to dig deep in ancient astrology, in what I call the astrology of the Golden Age, Hellenistic, medieval, they may contact me, and we will see.
Yeah. No, it would be great to be with you and observe the sky and learn all these things you have just explained, right, from vision.
Yes, actually, it is a good idea. I actually made it in every July. There is a seminar in person in Varna, and we go and watch the sky.
Yeah, great. I have been to La Palma, the island, the Canaries, and there I did also these nightly tours with an astronomer there. And as they have very little pollution by light at night, it's really stunning to watch this over several hours, what's rising, what's setting, and get a direct impression.
So this astrology is more like a direct experience rather than thinking with some formulas and some receipts, from books, but it is more like archetypal kind of knowledge, because when you see a chart, for example, let me show you again the chart of this guy Erdogan. When you see a chart, you in the golden age astrology, in the ancient astrology, you watch it and you see the symbols, the images, and what they mean, like feelings, like symbols, like constellations, like mythology. For example, you see here, Erdogan has exact conjunction of Mars with his Antares, which is the heart of Scorpio. And then his moon is in the 28th degree of Scorpio, which is very close to the stink of Scorpio. The stink of Scorpio is in the last degree.
Yeah.
In the 30th degree. So the moon is with the stink of Scorpio, and Mars is with the heart of Scorpio.
So we don't need to wonder that he is so aggressive in his speech and attacking other nations and so on.
So we see here also, okay, actually they are in exact conjunction. I think I was in some mode. Let me see. Yes, they are in exact conjunction with Antares 15, 15, and Antares is in the 15. So this is actually the real chart of different with one day. I think here I changed it, but this is the real natal chart of this guy. And here we have something even stronger. Exact conjunction to the degree, Mars, Moon, Antares. So what we are talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we know everything.
Here in Germany, we have a prince called from the dynasty of the Welfen, a very ancient dynasty, and he is born exactly on the same date as Erdogan. I don't know at which hour, and he always is aggressive to journalists, to the press, to normal people, and does all sorts of taboos breaking and things like that. So I know the pattern.
But you see, there is something else that we can see here with the eyes of the ancient astrologer. You see here Venus and Mercury, they are in the 20th degree of Babylonian Aquarius. Okay, just to show you the difference with the tropical, I'll switch to the tropical. So you see, this is the vernal equinox.
Yeah.
This is the spring equinox. From here starts the tropical Aries. But the constellations, the images are different. So, for example, you see Taurus is actually the constellation Aries.
Yeah.
But if we go to the Babylonian, then the images correspond to their names.
Yeah, so Venus and Mercury are both invisible.
So Venus and Mercury are in conjunction in the exact degree, 20th degree. And guess what? This degree is also one of the sacred 7 degrees of the zodiac.
Really?
Yes, and do you know why? Because look here, this is Aquarius, and he is pouring water from his jar or whatever this is. He is pouring water which goes through the ecliptic, and it goes like between the 17 and the 23rd degree of the Babylonian Aquarius, and in the middle is the 20th degree. So this is the water of the divine inspirations. So without, and also Mercury and Venus in combination, they give spirituality. When they are in conjunction, in many people, they make them very, very spiritual. So this guy has some spiritual abilities without question. But you know, he's like drawn between spirituality and between being this warrior for the right cause, as he may believe, of this Mars and the Moon. And here Saturn here, well, he wants to have power. So he's like drawn between these two things. So yeah, but the way to look at the chart is through images, through symbols, through mythology. So
he is a defender of his religion in this very orthodox way, but has also these other sides which are less comfortable to bear for other nations.
I'm watching here at the position of Mercury. Okay, because Mercury, if we look at Mercury, he is like evening last -6, which means that Mercury has disappeared as an evening star 6 days before
his birth
of Erdogan, which means that Mercury is also in heliacal phase. Okay, what this means, that Mercury disappears 6 days before the birth of Erdogan, and before that it was visible like an evening star, right?
Yes.
What does this mean? Okay, this corresponds to one particular myth and to one particular time in the myth, in the story of this myth. This is the myth of Hermes, who stole the cows of Apollo. So, okay, when Hermes was born, he was a good guy. He made this lyra, this harp. Then in the middle of the day, he was singing, praising the gods. But as the afternoon progressed and the sun progressed to setting, so the mind of this Hermes began to turn around, and he started to think about some mischief. So in the late afternoon, Hermes, the mischiever, was ready with his plan how to steal the cows of Apollo. And with with the sun setting, he actually stole the cows of Apollo. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that Apollo is the divine vision, the divine knowledge, which comes through divine vision. And Hermes is the mental. Hermes is our mind. And when Hermes steals the cows of Apollo, this happens when Mercury as an evening star is getting closer and closer to his own setting. When Mercury sets as an evening star, then Hermes steals the cows of Apollo. Then the mind, the mental, starts to believe that he can be that he can be the master, and that he can grasp the divine. and that he yes and actually the modern culture is exactly in this stage, when Hermes is stealing the cows of Apollo, when the mind believes that he can do anything and that he is God. You know, all these theories of the modern science, everywhere they are so arrogant. The universe is expanding, but it is limited in size. Then, well, it was not expanding, it was this and that, and they change everything, and they believe in the supremacy of the mind to understand and to rule the universe, which is not true. Our God is not science. Our God is the ethics of God, because God is ethical. So here we have this, as a matter of fact, I am giving you this example because you can see here how this kind of interpretation works out. Like, you look at the position of Mercury, you see its heliacal status, and from there you connect it with mythology and with symbols and with meaning, and then the picture is complete.
But it's very telling about Erdogan and his behavior. I mean, that he feels godlike and can do whatever he likes and doesn't observe any rules. You know, here in Germany, we have a large Turkish community, several millions of people, and he thought he can do his electoral campaign, his political speeches here in Germany directly to the people. And that's completely forbidden, that foreign rulers do their political activities in our country.
Yes, he has his shortcomings. And so he has also some strong points. This conjunction Venus and Mercury in the holy degree, in the sacred degree of the influx of divine inspirations. This is very strong point, and he should work more on this than on politics. So, Erdogan, if you are listening to me, go somewhere, meditate, become a Sufi, dance the Sufi dance, and forget about politics.
Is it known if he writes anything in that sort of religious, spiritual way?
I heard that he writes spiritual, religious poetry.
Ah. So I'm not aware of this, but I'm not too familiar with his activities in Turkey. May I ask one final question? You sent me that link about these magical talismans. Can you briefly explain how these talismans are constructed and how to get them?
Look now, this is the chart of Osama bin Laden.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. So we have here, look, Aldebaran on the eastern horizon, and this sacred area between the horns of the celestial bull. Right on the horizon. This is very strong. This means wealth. Aldebaran gives wealth, gives power, gives some protection and luck. Well, obviously, it didn't work very well for him, because we have here Saturn, opposite. So and we have here Mars. Look, his Mars is in the second degree of Babylonian Taurus. And guess what we have here? We have here the Gorgona Medusa.
Oh, so hats off.
Which is fear and horror. And Mars here with the Gorgona Medusa in the rising sign. Wow, my God. So obviously this guy spread a lot of fear and horror. But look here. We have again Mercury and Venus in heliacal phases, both. Again, almost in the holy degree, in the sacred degree of Aquarius. The same position that was in Erdogan's chart.
That's very interesting. I didn't know Osama's chart yet. Very interesting.
So what this means is the same, that this guy, Osama bin Laden, also had some spiritual influxes. And he also wrote spiritual religious poetry. So to many of his followers, they accepted him more like something like a spiritual leader, like a holy person, because of these things here.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
Yes, but look, there is this square with Mars here, rising with the Gorgona. And this is a daytime chart. So Mars is not very good at all.
Yeah.
Not very good. So it was the same square in the chart of Erdogan, but the Mars was not in Taurus, but in Scorpio. So you see, there are several very
connections and parallels.
Very similar parallels, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about the Gorgona, and you asked about these magical rings and magical medallions. I will show you something right here. Okay, this is actually my virtual shop at Etsy.com.
Yeah.
You know, this
it's a jewelry website portal.
Well, yeah, they make their different kinds of handmade things. And this is Apollo Vision. This is my shop here. And talking about the Gorgona, now I'll show you. Let me see. I want to show you one medallion with the Gorgona.
Oh,
that's it.
Yeah. Is this crafted after ancient originals?
This coin is authentic ancient.
That's an old Roman coin.
This is not Roman coin. This is ancient Greek coin.
Oh, I see.
From somewhere from the 5th or 4th century BC.
Yeah.
You see, the The ancient Greek coins, for me, are the most artistic, the most spiritual, the most fascinating art in the numismatica. The Roman coins were okay in the beginning of Rome, when in the times of the Republic.
Yeah.
Well, look, they were not as good as the ancient Greek, but okay, they were okay. But later, with the emperors, they became just almost the same like the modern coins. So very like nothing like art there, no
uninspired
art at all, uninspiring, depressing, flat. They don't have relief.
Yeah.
They are divided by any spiritual power. Nothing, absolutely nothing. But among the ancient Greek coins, there are such coins which I call magical.
Yeah.
Because in order to be produced a magical object, we must have several things there coinciding. The most important is the artist. If the artist is close to the divinity that he wants to embody, if he is close to Apollo, who gives him the vision of the divinities, then he can sculpture, he can paint, he can imagine and put in material this image, which will have magical power, which will have the spirit of the divinity. But such coins are rare even among the ancient Greek coins. Like, let's say from 100 coins, from 100 ancient coins that you can see somewhere, maybe only 3 or 5 I will see as magical. The others are, well, they are good art, but nothing more than that, and some of them are even bad art.
But most of them are in museums, I guess, not available for private possession.
Well, there are shops who sell ancient coins all over Western Europe. There are auctions for ancient coins.
Mm.
There are fairs of numismatica. In Germany are the best numismatica fairs. You can go there and you can see all kinds of coins, ancient coins. Yes, there are many of them.
When I was a student, I worked in Sicily, and there in the museums in, let's say, in Syracuse, they have a good collection of these ancient Greek coins, because each town had different Greek origins from Naxos or other places, and so their coins were very varied, and they incorporated also the name of the town then in these coins, like Zanklev or Messina. And I was really fascinated when I visited these museums long time ago.
You see, it's the coins in the museums are usually, they will put there the best coins, very good preserved, very beautiful. But when I'm talking about that 3 coins out of 100 are magical, I'm talking about the all coins.
Yes.
Because if you go to a museum to see the coins, maybe 20 or 30 of them will be magical.
Okay.
Because they put there the best.
Yeah. So if you have acquired such a magical coin, then in the right moment, all the rest has to be forged around the coin.
Of course, yes.
To how shall I say, to make it vivid.
you see, the divinity
to make it work.
The divinity.
And you have these people, goldsmiths, also who help you to produce the pendant or the ring at the right moment.
Look, the divinity, which is the spirit living in the amulet, it must be combined with the whole medallion, with the whole pendant. Like, for example, here, the Gorgona is encircled by snakes. And we have 3 snakes here. So you remember the hair of the Gorgona are snakes.
Yes. Exactly.
So we have here diamond, which is connected with the diamond is connected with Algol, and Algol is the Gorgona. Algol, this is the Gorgona constellation, where Osama bin Laden had his Mars. So everything is combined and made in the right moment, when Hermes said that it must be made. The combination between stone, between material, between divinity, and the time when it is made. Actually, many of these amulets, of this jewelry that you see here, I made it personally.
Oh, really?
And yes, and in some of them, I made them with different helpers. So it is a combination. I don't have the time to devote exclusively to jewelry. For example, look here. This is my personal creation. I made everything here personally.
Very beautiful, with a ruby.
Yeah. You see why I started to study and to do jewelry, goldsmith. Why did I become goldsmith? Very, very simple. It is the same reason why I made my computer program, why I made my algorithm for heliacal phases. Because, for example, for this medallion, I went to one of my teachers in goldsmithery. My teacher in jewelry. So I went to him and I told him what I want to do. I told him I want this coin here, put into this kind of case which resembles a human eye.
And it's silver with a gold coin inside.
Yes, and he told me his idea that he wanted to put. Do you see the mouse here that I'm moving?
Yes, I see the mouse. Yeah.
So he wanted to put here up two kind of sticks, and two sticks down here. So all 4 sticks, which will keep the coin fixed. And I tell him, hey, look, I cannot do this, because if I put these 4 sticks, the whole vision will be lost. The whole magic will be gone. It will be so rude to put these sticks there. And then I said, okay, I will do it. So I started to dig into this lunar half circle. And I figured a way how to do everything. So that's why I did this myself. Because there was no one else to do it.
I can really understand that. I don't know if you can see that ring which I'm wearing. That was also a kind of talisman which the Latvian astrologer Audrone Ilchevicine. She is astrologer and gemologist, and she said I should wear that with a silver and gold band, and with we did this workshop at a stone cutter here nearby in the town, which is the most important stone cutting town in Germany. And he said, I have several stones and she should select the one, and she selected then this opal. And he had this ring done, but it was too wide. So I can't wear it on the ring finger, but I wear it on the index finger, which is not the right thing, but that error happened during the gestation, and I have to put up with this.
Well, you can wear it on the index finger because this will connect you even more with influxes from the divine world.
You think so? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. The color is like the blue sapphire, and this is a very, very special stone. It gives people a lot of power, a lot of protection from God, a lot of spiritual influx, but at the same time, these people who wear blue sapphire must be very, very how to say it, ethical, especially in their love behavior, especially in their sexual life. They must be very ethical.
Sincere.
Yes, the right word was a little bit different. Cased. Cased, yes. So
you see, the blue sapphire in Vedic astrology is recommended to strengthen Saturn energy.
Look, if you put a dark blue, yes, Saturn. It's more power, more ambition, more such kind of sustained effort, sustained energy. But light blue is divine, because this is the sky.
So it's not completely wrong that I wear it on the index finger instead of the ring finger, and it helps me to connect with the divine.
Yes. Like many high-ranking officials from spiritual communities like the Catholic Church and some other, they wear rings on their index finger.
Yeah, but mostly I think they wear mostly amethysts.
Maybe. I think some of them wear also blue sapphires.
Oh, I will pay attention next time I see any of them.
Yes, look, when I see some person of interest, no matter where he is Bill Gates or Schwab or Putin, no.
Do you often converse with these people?
Or some famous actress or musician, if I see a ring or a pendant, I always look what kind of stone is this and on which finger.
Yeah. And then you advise them maybe to change this.
No, I don't advise anyone without being asked.
Okay.
I'm just out of interest of researcher.
Yeah.
You
know, our former Chancellor Angela Merkel, she was always wearing some kind of stone necklace, but I could never find out if this was just for aesthetic purposes or if somebody had advised her to wear this and that stone.
Well, whatever the reason, there is a connection between Merkel and this necklace.
This is, yeah.
So if we know what is the stone, then we'll learn more about her.
Yeah.
So
very beautiful items you have there on your website.
About the combination of symbols and of the image and the divinity of the coin, here is another example. Here we have Apollo.
Yeah.
This is a coin with Apollo, and the casting here around the coin,
yes,
is the Sumerian symbol of the sun. So Apollo is the divinity of the light. In later Hellenistic history, Apollo also became the divinity of the sun.
Yeah.
Together with Helios. And so Apollo is connected with the sun. The sun is something like a child, emanation of Apollo, because Apollo is the light of the whole cosmos, everything. And the sun is just one of these sources of light. So this here we have the Sumerian symbol of the sun around the image of Apollo, which is an authentic coin from Chios. I write here also the exact. Okay,
it comes from the coin. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, here the coin comes from this time here.
Yeah.
350, 300 BC.
Yeah, quite ancient.
Yeah. So this is everything is
really very unique pieces. I mean, very beautiful, very unique, and probably very powerful. And this Medusa is advised for people who want to fend off enemies.
Protection, yes.
Protection.
So I have here different kinds of things. Some of them are with very high quality stones and very expensive coins.
I see some prices.
like this one here is with one very expensive, very beautiful coin. Right now, the market price of this coin is probably 2,000 or more euros, probably even 3. And the diamond and everything, and look what kind of image. This is Athena.
Yeah.
Athena, and here is her symbol, which is the symbol of Venus in Sumer, the 8-pointed star.
Yeah. So all very valuable materials. This
the lion here,
the gold and the coin.
I have, of course, some interesting silver things here. Well, for example, this one I have more that I have not uploaded.
Put on the web page, yes.
But this is, for example, silver. Everything is silver, and this is a copy of authentic coin. But you see here, here I will show you the symbols, how you combine them. Let's see. Okay, here you see this is Apollo, Helios, the sun, and around Apollo you see this kind of comet-shaped things, right?
Yes.
And if you look, you will see that these 4 comets, they shape in a swastika.
I see, yeah.
Swastika, yes. And we can notice that actually this swastika is turned in the opposite way as the swastika used by
the Nazis.
Yeah.
That was the Nazis used the negative way, and this is the positive way. This swastika was as an ancient symbol.
This swastika, which is turned in the opposite way of the Hitler swastika, is the swastika of Apollo, of the light.
Yeah.
and this is not something that is widely known even in the circles of the historians, the iconographers, all these people, academia. I have not seen it anywhere that this swastika is connected with Apollo, but guess what? I have a proof. And I will show you now the proof. Here is the proof. So now here we see the same swastika on a coin, the swastika of Apollo, and we see here between the axis of the swastika, we have here dolphins. And
yes, yeah, they are so stylized. I couldn't recognize them at the first glance. Yes, but now that you say it, I can recognize them. Yeah.
You see them?
Yeah, now I can see them.
So guess what? The dolphin is actually a symbol of Apollo. And one more thing. This coin was minted in Apollonia Pontica, in a city which bear the name of Apollo.
Oh.
So this is how you connect the dots.
No, that's really very interesting. I feel really privileged to get all these first-hand explanations from you.
So I have even, okay, I'll show you this spoon here. This spoon is with Aphrodite.
Oh, yes.
And I have incorporated here a copy of authentic coin with Aphrodite from Corinth, somewhere again from the 4th century BC. And here you can see written Venus and Aphrodite. You see written in Greek and in Latin.
Ah, yes, yeah.
So on the back, you can see also the back of the coin and the city where it was minted and the period when it was minted.
And who should use this? People who devote themselves to arts and use the visionary qualities of Aphrodite.
Well, Aphrodite, everybody who wants a nice life, love, and harmony, and good company, partying. This is Aphrodite.
Very versatile for various purposes.
I have 6 different spoons with different divinities.
Yeah.
Here you can see the spoon with the Gorgona.
Ah.
You see?
Yeah. So would we be allowed to print one of these images in the context of the article?
Well, of course, you can include everything that you want in the article, in the video, everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Here, this is very, very nice, very absolutely amazing medallion. And look, this is Apollo. This is such absolutely magic image.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really unique. But I doubt that many of our readers can afford this sort of very beautiful, very unique
Well, you see, these are very, very special magical jewelry, and they find their owner themselves.
Yeah. I mean, that is a jewel once in a lifetime. You buy such a thing, and that accompanies you in a very personal way.
Yes, these objects they have this power in themselves to find the owner which is destined for them. So look here, this is Apollo. This is on the loop up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is on the other side is eagle. And if you look from above, you see the symbol of infinity by their wings touching.
Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of symbolism in it, which you don't realize at the first glance.
Yes, one more thing that I forgot to tell you is that if you look at the back here, I will show you. You see around the coin are 4 dolphins.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, like in the other medal you have shown before.
And this thing here on the back of the dolphin, what was its name? I forgot it. But it goes in the other side in the palm of a lion.
Ah, yes.
Holding the image of
Apollo.
And the lion and the dolphin are symbols of Apollo. And also the eagle too. The eagle, which is here above, also. So
stunning. Yeah. And you designed all these things with all the symbolism, and a goldsmith forged them then for you.
Yes, of course, I am the artist, and some of them I make personally when I have time, and some of them are made by my friends, my teachers in jewelry, goldsmiths, very good guys that I know. And some of them I make on computer with some other people who work with computer programs. So, for example, this thing here around the coin is made with a computer program.
I see.
So I make the pictures and tell them all the details, because they must know everything. How many millimeters is this? How many distance in millimeters is that? You know, everything. And you must know both goldsmithery and also mathematics and symbolism to compile all this together in one.
And also to cut the stone, that it is most brilliant.
Yes, and to find also the right stone too.
Yeah, that's also a thing. There are so many artificial stones now on the market who have no spiritual value.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, yes. I traveled a lot to India and Sri Lanka, in countries where you can find stones which here in our German market are not very common. And so I got in touch with Indian astrologers and who advised me where to buy what. And so that's a thing which interests me also very much.
Yes, we must use untreated
stones. But unfortunately, many stones are treated with radioactivity to make them deeper in color. And that can do also harm when you wear the stone.
Yes. They use many different treatments.
Yeah.
So they use radiation. They use some kind of temperature combined with glass to fill up the
gaps.
Yeah. And this glass has plumb inside, and they actually destroy. They actually kill the gem. Yes. They destroy the structure.
Yeah. No, fortunately, I'm quite good connected in the scene of pure stones and healing with stones. So I know a lot of people who could advise me not to buy something which is harmful.
Yes.
So that was a big tour through all your activities.
So you know what? you know what? I have idea for you and for Meridian.
Yeah.
Let's make another interview where you know the story about Kraft, the astrologer, and Hitler.
Yeah.
You know how Kraft predicted to Hitler that there will be an attempt on his life.
Yeah.
And that it really happened in, I think, in München.
In the Bürgerbräukeller, there was one of these attempts, but I think there were several, and miraculously he all survived.
So this is this fascinating story about the astrologer Kraft, who was successful in his prediction about an attempt on the life of Hitler.
Yeah.
And he was questioned by, I think, Gestapo. So this is a fascinating story, and we can make interview on this story, and I will tell you how Kraft did it.
I read that book by Alec Howe. You know, he was a British person who was very interested in astrology and researched in the 60s, where still some of these people were alive who knew the astrological scene in Nazi Germany. So there I got some ideas and some background knowledge, but I didn't go too deep into the real astrology, how to make that prediction.
Look, everybody writes about this story, but nobody tells you how Kraft made it. Right? And I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm very keen on that. I will ask the editor if he takes that topic, but we can do the interview anyway and put it then on your website and in other places, and that we have preserved it at least.
Yes. So if you are interested in Kraft and Hitler, let me know, and I am ready. Now I want to show you my books in English here.
Yeah.
So this book, Hermes Trismegistus on the Fixed Stars, this is a first-time translation from original Latin manuscript. This is fascinating book, very, very interesting. You know this, the Babylonian Astrolabe, we talked about this. Regiomontanus, the horoscope of Maximilian, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. This is a very good sample of medieval Arab astrology from the 15th century. Very good. Here,
you know also this horoscope of Maximilian by Schöner, Johann Schöner. It was translated by Robert Hent into English. This is also a similar, probably similar study.
Oh, Anne. Thank you about reminding me about that, because now I will tell you the story of Schoner, what this guy did. What this guy is a plagiat. You know, this manuscript that I translate here for the first time from Latin, this manuscript I found in the library in Vienna. Okay?
Yeah.
But guess what? This manuscript has never been published. And after the death of Regiomontanus, this manuscript in some way got in the hands of the plagiat Schoner. And what Schoner did, he took parts from this manuscript and he put them in his own book. Without
quoting the source, probably.
Without writing that this is from Regiomontanus.
Oh.
So, Schoner exposed, plagiat.
I didn't know that, but
now you know it.
Yeah, and thank you very much.
Yeah. I think, did I write somewhere? I think I wrote in this book about this story of Schoner, how he I compared texts from the Book of Shona with the text from the manuscript of Regiomontanus, and it is the same.
Yeah, but it's not a unique case. If you see in the English literature, William Lilly was copied by various minor astrologers word by word.
Maybe this does not exonerate them.
No, of course not.
This does not exonerate Shona.
Yeah, maybe in their time it wasn't discovered because manuscripts were rare and people who could read them also, but only in our days with the digitization we can follow these traces.
Well, look, who on earth could catch Shona in plagiarism when this was only one manuscript in the hands of Shona and nobody had a copy?
Yeah, of course, it was not possible.
And nobody knew even about this manuscript except maybe the royal family. Probably very, very few people knew about this, and maybe he published his book long time after everybody who knew was already dead.
And Regiomontanus never had it printed in his time.
Look, this is a private horoscope. This is a private chart. If I have a private horoscope for some of my clients, and he's, for example, let's say some royal guy, Charles, let's say Prince Charles, he asked me for a horoscope, and I make him a horoscope. What do you think? Can I publish it?
No.
Come on. Of course not.
But this was published, this was written during the lifetime of Maximilian, not after his death.
This was never published. I published it for the first time.
It was written still during the lifetime of Maximilian.
Well, look, Regiomontanus made this horoscope and wrote this manuscript about the horoscope of Maximilian the First when Maximilian was a baby. Several months old.
No, his horoscope is quite familiar to me because I use it sometimes in courses or lectures about partnership astrology, and I ask then the students how many marriages did he have and these sort of things, because it's very telling, and if you are into the rules and regulations of medieval astrology.
Yes. So I showed you also the books here.
Yeah, thank you. And one can order them from your website.
Everybody interested can contact me through email.
Yeah.
And everything will be okay. And about the magical jewelry, I have like 3 levels.
Yeah.
The first level is silver copies, which are cheap, several hundred euros. And then I have middle, and then top.
Yeah.
The top is with very expensive, authentic coins, with very high artistic work, requiring a lot of time, a lot of work, and that's why they are so expensive. But if you compare them, you can make research of jewelry with ancient coins. There maybe in the world, maybe there are 5 or 10 people, firms which make such jewelry with ancient coins. So actually, the prices of this jewelry is very high, very, very high. I am maybe the cheapest of of all.
No, I don't want to doubt that it is justified to ask these prices, especially as the timing is important and the crafting, the materials and everything. So they have their value in their own.
Yes, I believe that my jewelry with ancient coins is the best, the most artistic, with the most artistic coins, with the most magical coins, and the cheapest, too. Not the coins, but the jewelry.
Yeah. So I understand.
Make your own research.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all this work, and I'm myself very keen on these sort of talismans. I bought also one with Richard Warnock, the American astrologer who does medieval astrology.
Oh, yeah, I know him. I have exchanged emails.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
but my talisman is only silver. There is no stone in it, and it's all modern. It's not with an ancient coin.
Yeah. As I told you, these are very, very special objects, unique. And
I see that. I have really a bit of knowledge about all these things.
You see, I don't worry about PR and about marketing them.
Yeah.
They find their owners by themselves.
That is important. Yeah.
I just have the vision. I have the vision, and I make it. And then after several months, somebody buys it.
Yeah. That is how it should be.
Yes.
So I will try my best to bring all this, what we discussed, into a text. I sent you the English version then, and you can approve, and probably I have to spread that over the two texts, one for the first issue and then one for the second issue, and we will see how the editor of the Meridian reacts regarding length, and maybe we have then to cut a bit. But this takes also its way, and he is really interested in your work. I mean, he knew about you, but not in depth, and it was very glad that I suggested that interview.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, you can do with the video, with the material, whatever you want.
Can we also have a picture of you and your horoscope to print it with the article if you like?
Yes, sure. I will send you.
Send me a picture, and well, I will convince them to print your horoscope in Babylonian style, that we have a vivid example.
Yes, of course, this should be Babylonian style, but
but I mean, normally they have tropical articles, but in this case, it has to be Babylonian, of course.
Well, they can print both.
Tropical, or any reader, when the data are given, any reader can recalculate it.
Yeah, they may print both.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm very, very grateful. It was almost like a lesson in private tuition for me to have all this time devoted. Thank you, and all the best.
Okay, Annie, all the best. Say hi to Meridian and to the staff there, and to all friends, astrologers from Germany and from the whole world. And till soon.
Till soon, yeah. No, I'm very keen. And if I can, I might also visit the conference.
Yeah, and you can make research in the meantime about Kraft and Hitler.
Yeah, okay, I will. Thank you very much again. Bye-bye.
And we'll continue. We'll continue. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
And you sent me the link of the recording.
You can download after we finish. It will pop up. It will pop up by itself, and you can download it.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll send you my chart and a photo.
Yes.
All right, Anne.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
We continue. Ciao, ciao.
We continue. Ciao.